Hello, comrades! Welcome back to Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. My name, of course, is Obit Potato. We're starting the day in Grainsky. We're not going to be in Grainsky for long, I promise. We're just having a little look, and it was mostly to show you that at this point, you know these big, long MAZ 2000 truck trains, land truck train things, you know, the code word for the last episode? Yeah, as it turns out, they are actually a serious impediment to what we're trying to do here. As you can see, I touched upon it briefly in the last episode, but it's become clear to me that it's pretty much not possible to make this current setup work with the land trains. So unfortunately, I think we're actually going to have to swap these land trains out over here and get them replaced with just the regular, I guess, CAS 5410s. Because otherwise, we're just not going to be able to have more than one truck in the cargo station at a time, and that is really a big old problem. So, I mean, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna say, you know what? All of the MAZ trucks that are currently chilling around just over here, I'm gonna send all of them to the nearby road vehicles depot. I'm gonna sell all of these trucks that are currently chilling out in here, and then, you know, we can sort of start the episode, not necessarily afresh, but it means that we can, you know, start the episode without a seriously horrific number of traffic jams. Because as you can see, if I go over here, look at this. Look at this. This is bringing me back to the Grainsky of old, and that ain't good. Anyway, let's chat about what I want to accomplish over the course of this here episode. This here episode, I want to build a pipeline. I want to start construction of a couple of houses in Kobe, and I also want to start construction of a couple of houses in Kolgradsky. We're going to polish up Kolgradsky a little bit, but as I say, primarily the pipeline is what we want to try and get accomplished, or we at least want to try and get it started at some point. I've let the game run for like, whatever, half a month. Usually I just do that just to move us on from where we were at the end of the last episode. What am I doing here? I'm moving all of the vehicles over to here. There we go. There we go. Wonderful. So if we do this, then this should in fact mean that we're just going to have a little bit more space in the road depots, which is pretty darn important as it turns out. Right, so that's that. I mean, there's still more to be done. There's definitely still more to be done, but that's completely fine. All right, you over there. And now we're full. Okay, I mean, look, that was bound to happen. I think I'm just gonna build another road vehicles depot. The reason, by the way, why I care so much about these MAZ 2000 trucks is because they cost like a lot of money, and therefore I'm quite conscious of the fact that I don't really want to waste any of the money that I've spent in order to acquire them. And, you know, if I need to build another road vehicle depot to, you know, temporarily house a couple of MAZ trucks, then so be it. I mean, we're definitely going to be able to find a use for them. I mean, they are absolutely incredible. Thank you very much to everyone who suggested a couple of things. Hold up. A couple of things to do with the area that the coal power plants are currently occupying. I think there was general consensus that another steel mill slotted in there would work quite nicely. So that is definitely something that is going to be happening at some point in the next couple of episodes. You know, I don't like to commit to a timeline because it will inevitably just, you know, be broken. Let's be honest, eh? And you are... Go to that depot over there. Brilliant. Okay, so with that, we should have cleared up all of the land trains that will, in fact, come to this specific area over here. You go... You're filling up with food at the moment. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. And then what we're going to do, just as a result of what we've just done, we'll go over to the medium distribution office, and we're just going to buy a whole bunch of covered hull CAS trucks. Yeah. Bit expensive, but, you know, an absolutely worthwhile thing to do, and it means that these trucks are actually going to be able to fit into the road vehicle depot, the road cargo station even, not the road vehicle depot. That's a road vehicle depot, that's a road cargo station. The reason that that's so darn important, by the way, is that this is a single vehicle, a single cargo station setup, so we supply our crops to this cargo station as well as pick up the food that comes out of the processing factory. So therefore, it's pretty essential that we always have a constant inflow of trucks. So to have one truck in the station at a time, as opposed to having 4 in if we were to switch over to CAS 5410s, makes a pretty big difference. And as you can already see, there's a pretty substantial reduction in traffic. It's still a little bit chock-a-block, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Right, and we'll buy the last CAS truck, or sorry, the last KMZ truck. Brilliant. That's very, very good. I'm very happy with that, and that gives us a whole bunch of availability, for crops. That is good. Right. So as you can see, we're not doing too badly. We're not doing too badly in terms of number of employees that are actually working at this food factory. However, it does leave a little to be desired. I mean, how many people do we have coming in on this bus? 4 people. 4 people. I mean, that is not good. Now, we haven't sorted clothes production. We haven't sorted fabric production yet, but, you know, don't worry. That will get sorted in the fullness of time. The problem is that we just simply don't have enough people coming to work in these food factories. We don't have enough people coming to work in both these food factories, but also the Grainsky bus stop here just is not supplying enough workers. So we need to get that addressed, and the way that we're going to do that is by building a couple more flats. What do we got over here? This better not be in the middle of flipping nowhere. It's in the middle of flipping nowhere. I'm about to... I am so angry. Please say that a fire truck is being called. No fire trucks are coming to deal with this fire. I'm so angry. I'm legitimately furious. Why does it always happen? Why does it always happen in the middle of nowhere? I'm fizzing. I'm absolutely fizzing. Right, well, you know what? We're gonna just blow a huge amount of money on making sure that we have the capability to put out this fire. It's a good thing that I keep an eye on these things, otherwise we would indeed be in trouble. There we go. Sure, great. Just invite immigrants. Sure, it's not the cheapest. I could have moved immigrants, but that's totally fine. Alright, so here's hoping that this is going to make a big old difference. There we go. Wonderful. That's very, very great. I'm very happy with that. Now, let's move all of these immigrants over to... Where am I looking? Yes, Kolgradsky. It is Kolgradsky. Yeah. Right, so let's get this built, and then let's move people across. Right, we are still going for that, you know, sort of net zero import of resources. We don't want to import resources much longer than we need to. But yeah, we do need to make sure that we try and cut down as much as we possibly can. Right, so I said that I'm going to try and fix the number of people that are working at the slaughterhouse and also the clothing factory. The way that I'm going to do that is by getting IKR 280s, and we are just going to straight up take people between the two locations where we have people to the location that we don't have people, i.e. from the big old brand new bus stop in the center of Kolgradsky, which is, I mean, just overflowing with willing, happy comrades, ready to work at the drop of a hat. Also, we need to make sure that this is linked up to the distribution network as well. It is linked up to the distribution network. Do we actually have enough food coming in here? We do actually have enough food coming in here, but we don't seemingly have enough food coming into the shopping center, which is somewhat of a problem, actually. Yeah, I mean, we need to sort out electronics just in general. Also, thank you very much to everyone who made suggestions on the best way to manage a food distribution network. There was a couple of suggestions that I try and get a warehouse down next to some of these shopping centers so that I can, you know, keep a greater amount of food just next door. I mean, that is a great idea, and that is like the most optimum situation. That is the best thing that I could possibly do. The only problem is that the factory connection is right up front, and it can be a little bit tight to stick in a warehouse. Now, that's not saying that it's impossible. We do actually have, I believe, we do have a modded warehouse. Now, where is this? Is it in forklift facility? No, it's not in forklift facility. Factory? It's in factory. Yes, I think. Come on, it's around here somewhere. Small refinery, small food factory. No. Biofuel plant. No. Cargo station, small aggregate loading, no. Small cargo station, no. It is around here somewhere. Hold on, it's just coming. Just give me a second. Show all. This is highly embarrassing. Anyway, to put it bluntly, I do have a small barn. Here we go, that's it. So, a small barn basically holds 45 tons of food. Yeah, I mean, it holds enough to increase the storage by a pretty substantial amount. And, yeah, that might actually just be what we're after. Yeah, so we just link it up with an industry connection, and we have the trucks deliver to the barn as opposed to delivering to the shopping center. Then the resources are automatically transported into the shopping center. Or alternatively, we could do something like, hey, the barn is only going to be reserved for food, and therefore we can increase the limit amount of clothes in the shopping center directly, if that makes sense. Either way, there's definitely a little bit of flexibility for us around factories and warehouses and shopping centers and whatnot, but making sure that we've got a decent amount of production at the clothing factory is pretty darn important. We need to make sure that everything is operating at full capacity, apart from, of course, the food factory, which has now been shut down on a permanent basis, which is lovely. Slaughterhouse is working. Yep, that's looking good. We need to get this reconfigured to work with meat. Also, I need to... What am I doing? Look, I said that I was going to build a pipeline. Let's just get a pipeline down. I mean, look, for goodness sake, Potato, stick to message. Stick to what you said you were going to do. Otherwise, we're going to have problems. Goodness gracious me. I'm like a 5-year-old that just can't stay focused on a single thing for more than like 2 seconds. It's not a good position to be. Okay. Right. That was a little angry moment that I had with myself there. It happens to the best of us, comrade, and also the worst of us, hence why it happened to me. Right, so let's get a couple of pipe pumping stations down. We're gonna go for a very, very sort of similar setup that we had before. I don't really want these pipes to auto-connect at this moment in time, because if they do, then that means that I'm not going to be able to make them as high as I possibly can. Although they don't necessarily need to be super high, because... yeah... because they don't. Because we don't have any boats. We don't have any boats that will be coming around this part of town. So I think that, you know, we can probably just get away with a reasonably simple system. Have we got any free... oh, yes, we've got a free pumping station hookup point right over here. So I guess that's what we're probably going to aim for. Yeah. Brilliant. We'll aim for that. Right. And we get this down. Wonderful. Okay, so that will work. Wonderful. Now, how are we going to do this? Because, unfortunately, this does need to be connected up to the road network. Whether I like it or not, there does have to be a road network connection in here. And I feel like it should really probably go under... the road should probably go under this area here. I mean, I didn't really want to end up connecting... I didn't really want to end up terraforming this entire area in order to create a road. But, I mean, frankly, I don't really think that we've got any option. Just get that flattened out, get that flattened out. To be honest, don't actually need to terraform that much at all. Alright, happy days. That ends up working out not too badly. Ditch these little islands. They're completely unnecessary. Yes, goodbye. Back down into the sea you go. Cheerio, cheerio. Thank you very much. Also, this is a pretty poor location to build the pumping station, now that I've considered it properly and fully. So let's instead... oh, that is a wonderful curve there. That is an absolutely gorgeous curve. Right, I mean, that is good. That is very good, in fact. Alright. I do love the convenience of just using the auto build. I mean, it's not ideal. It means that we're not going to have an elevated section of pipe. However, the good news is that if in the future we need to come back and, you know, change around the pipes, we can just delete it on a, you know, sort of case-by-case basis. We don't need to delete the whole darn pipe and then replace it for 40,000 rubles, which is quite nice. Having some serious difficulty getting this to line up. That was not where I wanted it to go. I wanted it to all just sort of automatically hook up. There was a little square there. I think I might need to just build this out a little bit more. I know it's because there is the wire here. Yeah, that actually works not too badly. Okay, great. So if we connect up a wonderful little dirt road. There we go. Just bring it in there nice and tight. Just around the edge as much as we possibly can. Yep, there we go. Brilliant. And I think a dirt road should be fine. It should extend the range of the construction offices enough. I'm banking on, by the way, using the construction offices over here. I think they should all be within range. The construction offices over here have been doing a fantastic amount of work, and I'm very, very happy with all of the stuff that they've been doing. Again, terraform that. Not super happy about it. I feel like it does kind of ruin the natural beauty of the area. However, when have I really ever been concerned about the natural beauty of any area? I haven't. It was a trick question the whole darn time. Also, apparently there's an oil well that's ready to rock and roll right over there. Okay. I am honestly, seriously underestimating how many oil wells we actually have here. We have a serious amount of oil, and I kind of flippin' love it. It's looking real good. It's looking real nice, looking real fancy. Okay, so that's fine. Again, I'm still in the mindset of, oh, I need to build my pipes super high. I don't need to build them super high because I can just replace an individualized section of pipe now. I mean, what did they say? Old habits die hard? Something like that. I don't know. Something about die hard. Right. Over here. Building is in the way. There should not be a building in the way. There is definitely a building in the way. I'm deeply sorry for doubting you, video game. That's all my fault. Right. Cannot end over water. Fine. There we go. That looks pretty convenient to me. There we go, looking lovely. I mean, this is just it's gonna cost an absolute arm and a leg to build. But to be fair, it's gonna be built over time. I mean, we don't actually need any of this to be built super instantly. That's the whole point of, you know, starting it right now, as opposed to faffing around for 20 minutes and then eventually getting started. Is that, I mean, these construction offices so far have done a really brilliant job of just building, you know, stuff whenever they have got the capacity to do so. I mean, I should have mentioned, but they built all of the oil wells out here, you know, so there was like, what, 4 that weren't within the automatic construction range, and they managed to build them all in a fairly timely manner. I believe that they were all completed over the course of the last episode, so, I mean, that's pretty darn good if I do say so myself. Pretty happy with that. Right, so just 2 pipes remaining. So we're gonna get you down there. Brilliant. Looks a little bit messy, but, you know, when has a good thing ever looked not messy? It's a great question. It's a great question, isn't it? That's not really a great question, to be honest. There's a lot of good things in life that don't look very messy. Cannot end above water. I mean, it's not really ending above water. I mean, it kind of is ending above water. What sort of an idiot would put a bridge over this little section of watered area? I certainly don't know. Right, there we go. That seems to have been accepted. Okay, so the next part of the puzzle is to try and connect up a pump over here. Now, this doesn't actually need to be a full-fledged pump unless there's oil in this vicinity, which I don't actually know if there is. I mean, will I need to connect up an oil well over here? There is no oil here. There's a tiny hint out this way. But this is going to be expanded probably from here. I tell you what, let's delete this. Let's delete that. Let's expand this area out ever so slightly. We're not going to build more oil wells. I mean, it will get to a point where we're probably going to need to get a second oil refinery. That day is not today. It's not even close, to be honest. If I do this, however, then we'll be able to expand out this way. We've got extra capacity coming through this area here, coming through this this point of contact. So that's what we're gonna do. That's how we're gonna roll, I think. We need to make sure that there is a road connection over here, otherwise stuff's not gonna work. Now, this is exactly what I talked about. We can just demolish that before it's even constructed, connect that up, brilliant. And back into pipelines, bada bim, bada boom. What do you know? It works like an absolute charm. Okay, get that all zoned up. As I say, there's definitely, like, you know, a possibility to link up this area. I mean, there's a little bit of oil out here. We're gonna need it all. We're gonna need every single little drop of oil that the video game offers. Certainly, that's what we're after. Anyway, going back to the big long pipeline, the actual, I guess, main point of this. of this episode, I am looking for conveyor/pipe engine. Yes, this is it, the forwarding pump. This is exactly what I'm after. So this is probably one of the most fantastic mods that I have thus far come across, and it allows you to basically just build a tiny little forwarding pump. You know, can you imagine building, you know, an entire pipeline down from, you know, Mini Constructo all the way down to Kobe down there, Refinovsky. Can you imagine just doing this with like tiny little profile pumps? I mean, that would just be so much better. It would just be so much better. Right, we are going to have to level out a little bit of terrain here. Oops, we want to go up. Now it's going to be... How far are we going to be able to push this? I mean, I kind of want to push it as far as we possibly can, because I would like as few, like, artificial islands as possible. I don't actually think that that's too terrible. We need to make sure that we've got space for power, a power setup on each of these islands, but that should be totally fine. There's an optional option. An optional option? You have the option. You have the option, dear viewer, to link up directly a power cable to these pumps as well, which makes it also fantastic. Okay, I think probably the max length's about that. I mean, we'll give that a shot. I fully anticipate that that'll be possible. I mean, it's just not possible. Alright, level that out. Yeah, so it is... I was very, very close. Alright, cool. And then let's tidy this up a little bit. Tidy this island up. Again, I want it to try and be as natural as possible. That's probably too small of an island, but that's fine. Right, and then next stage, I guess, about over there. He's got it. There we go, brilliant. Right in there. And then probably we'll have to get one more pump in here. However, this pump, we put down over here. And now this pump should probably be... down a little bit, please. This pump should probably be the regular, you know, just regular pump. Yeah, the regular all-encompassing pump. And that's... Oh, it's very close to working, which is very good. Okay, now the reason that this should probably be an all-encompassing regular pump is because we're going to be able to connect up... Yep, just like the game is suggesting there. We're going to be able to connect up cables from behind this this area over here. Although, to be honest, do I want to do that? Actually, you know what? No, scrap that. Scrap that. We'll put all of the big pumps actually on the land itself, on the island. Let's just do another little modded forwarding pump for now. There we go. Wonderful. Delete that. That's not necessary. And I think that's everything that we need. So take this island all down. Wonderful. And then we can revert back to regular pumps right now. Brilliant. Okay, so in terms of setup, what are we going to go for? I mean, the only real condition is that we're able to connect up road to these pumps so that these pumps sort of all build themselves. I think a good first idea would just be to sort of create like a connection of pumps, so we have like a little tributary system. So we've got, you know, all of the pumps run into a main line, and we just sort of have a nice sort of cross-shaped setup over here. And then we can just run a whole bunch of pumps off this setup if indeed that's required. Right, so I'll show you exactly what I mean. We've obviously got the main pipeline coming in over here, which is grand. We're going to connect up all of these pumps that I've just placed down in a configuration such as this. Wonderful. That's auto-linked up. I'm not sure that I'll keep that, but that's fine for now. As you can see, it's fairly rudimentary, fairly basic, but it just allows us to sort of plumb in a vague structure over here, which is grand. This is going to cost a heck of a lot of money. If I was to build it just with rubles. Okay, so then let's see if we can go about connecting up some of these outlying stations, these outlying wells even. That goes over there, cracking. Again, we probably want to leave a little bit of room for expansion over here. So I'll probably leave this slot empty for now. Too sharp of a turn? I mean, I don't know why you consider that too sharp of a turn, video game. That is absolutely not too sharp of a turn. See, look, you're doing it. You're doing it right there. It's easy. Simple as that. Okay, and then another pumping station right over here. Cool. Now, not all of this stuff will necessarily auto-build, but I think most of it will, to be honest. Most of it will. Right, and then we'll link that up to the main line, if you'd like. Another pumping station in there. Yep, that's pretty much exactly what we're after. That goes in over there. You know, disregard the fact that we're going to need to connect up like about 20,000 roads. That's not an exaggeration. About 20,000 roads over here. Going to get a plateau over here because I think it's a little bit too shallow at the moment to deal with. So the water pan is just a little bit too high. That goes in there. Brilliant. That goes in over there. Cracking. Let me redo this just briefly, because we've already got an open slot over here, so I don't need to keep an open slot over here. We can get away with just one fewer pump. Look at that. That actually works great. That, okay, looks a little bit naughty, but, yeah, looks, if you squint really hard, it looks a little bit dodgy. In fact, you know what? Let me just change that, because I don't even want to have that. That's a no from me. Thank you very much. All right. Let me see. Yep. So let's just change this around a little bit. I don't know. We'll stick in some curves. You know, we'll get that over there. Brilliant. We'll stick this in over here. Look, this is how far I will go to make sure that YouTube does not demonetize me or has any excuse to demonetize me. Look at that. Look, it's just a wonderful pipe system. A wonderful pipe system. Look at that. Look, we've even got some roller coaster now, right? I mean, sure, we end up spending an extra, you know, couple of thousand rubles in order to make sure that it doesn't look like a symbol of hate. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that's a worthy investment. A worthy investment, comrades. Worthy investment. Right. I tell you what. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what's going to happen when 1991 rolls around. Specifically, December the 25th of 1991. Is there like a message that pops up in the game that says, "Hey, you've reached the end of history. You've reached the end of the game." Maybe the game just stops. Maybe the game just crashes after that point. I don't know. Right. So that's looking good. Let's plumb this in. Let's plumb this in. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I think that looks nice. And there's plenty of space. There's plenty of space for expansion as well, which is the main thing. There we go. Wonderful. I mean, yeah, look, this is a fairly comprehensive pipe setup, I gotta be honest. Fairly comprehensive pipe setup. We'll go back and faff around with the... We'll go back and faff around with the roads in just a second. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that leaves an empty slot there, empty slot over there, empty slot over there, empty slot over here, empty slot over there. A couple of empty slots over here. That's very, very good. There's still a connection that needs to be done over here. Two connections, in fact, that need to be done over here. Right, so let's do this. Let's work backwards. That's fine. And that over there. Wonderful. So that all links up perfectly. I think that is about it in terms of stuff on this side of the bridge. By this side of the bridge, I mean this side of the asphaltified road. In fact, this represents the vast majority of pipes that's actually going to have to be laid. Okay, let's stretch this over here as well. Why the heck not, eh? Alright, sure. And then I think we're probably, what, like 2 or 3 pumping stations away from just having a complete setup. I'm going to put down another piping station over here just to make sure that we can keep some options open out in that area. That's brilliant. Let's link that up directly over. Again, too sharp of a turn. I mean, I could have sworn that you've done sharper turns before, video game, but, you know, that's okay, I guess. That's fine. Right, and then that goes over there. And that goes over there. That's silly. Right, if that's the case, I'm going to stick down one final last pumping station over there. Ditch that. I mean, the amount of steel that this is going to consume, by the way, the amount of steel this is going to consume is actually frightful. It's actually kind of ridiculous. It's actually unbelievably ridiculous. I have no idea how much this is going to cost because it's not all been zoned as, like, one single project. It's been zoned as, like, multiple different projects. But it's going to cost at least 2 million rubles. At least, like, at an absolute minimum. Let's get all of the roads connected up. Now, I think we should be fine. Like, most of these projects will be within construction range. However, inevitably, a couple of them won't be. But that is fine if that's the case. You know, we can always manually add projects on board, but it's just a little bit more of a faff to do that. Aha! See, this is why we don't auto-build. Is that every road connected? No, not one. Over there. Okay, so just one road that needs to be fixed over here. So if we get that linked up in the first instance, and then we pop across to here. Yeah, there we go. And there we go. Simple as that. Okay, I mean, that connection in and of itself costs 15,000 rubles. Okay, so we're going to unpause. We're going to unpause, and all of these pipe pumping stations should be zoned. Now, that's only... I don't want to say that's necessarily half the battle, because that's the vast majority of the battle. However, we do need to make sure that we've got a connection set up. So, all of these guys should automatically find a whole bunch of work to do. There we go. It's all filtering through. That's wonderful. That's going to be started, and that's going to consume a heck of a lot of mechanical components, but that's okay. That's completely fine with me. We don't have any mechanical components coming in at the moment. We might need to try and do a little bit better in terms of mechanical components next time, but you know, that's okay. We're okay. We're okay for now. Yeah, Mini Constructo's looking a-okay. We've got plenty of university employees, so that is looking good. Okay, now, Kobe. How art thou? Doesn't even sound remotely Shakespearean, but there we go. Right, so we currently have Kobe Prefab Flats Type 464 right in this location here. To paraphrase, I hate it. I don't like it here. I want to change it. I want to make sure that we have a couple of big flats out here. In fact, I think that would be kind of optimal. I also want to try and get a couple of big flats out here. Yeah, we just need to zone like more housing in this vicinity. We just need to zone more housing in this vicinity. So that is exactly what we are going to do. Where are we going? Residential. That's where I'm going. Brilliant. Residential. So let's zone 3 more People's Palace flats in this area here. We can actually only connect up with path. We don't need to necessarily worry about a road connection. Okay. And a path connection over there. Yep, I think that should be totally fine. That's going to be assigned to the construction office over here, which is doing a great amount of work, actually. A hugely great amount of work. Very, very happy with that. Alright, we're going to reduce the number of people that actually work at these flats because we don't need as many people as it says we need. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. So part of the reason why I'm so confident in building more prefabricated flats in Kobe is, as you can see, there are 356 people living in Kobe who cannot work because they're still living with their parents. So if we can get that sorted, even if we can, you know, take that demand and stick it into a flat, then that will make a fairly substantial difference, I will say. Also, can we maybe get like another flat down here or something? We just zone another one. Yeah, like literally right in there. I mean, that looks painfully close to actually just working. It does actually want to just work. That's brilliant. That's absolutely fantastic. Right. I mean, Kobe just needs more attention in general, to be honest. And honestly, we need to get another train on this line. I'm going to get another train on this line right now so that we're moving just that many more people. In saying that, though, train set, no. I need a passenger wagon. No, I don't actually have any diesel locomotives. I don't have any... Huh. Right, so it turns out there's no diesel locomotives that I have that can actually transport people. So you know these MV45 something-somethings, MV853s. Yeah, it turns out they can't be bought anymore. Right, so we're going to have to get a diesel locomotive set up. That is, of course, until we get our own MV853s produced. Like, once we're able to start manufacturing trains ourselves, then... I guess, technically, we'll be able to make them, if indeed we want to. I think we probably will want to, I would imagine. Anyway, I need to get 2 wagons. 2 wagons seems about the right length. Yeah, okay. And then let's see if we can try and get this copied across. Sometimes, yeah, I was waiting to say, sometimes it won't let you copy across if it's not the same type of train. That's fine. Alright, so go over here, load... 100%, and then load over here. We just have a huge problem, really, with the number of employees that we have, and we want to make sure that we get as many as we possibly can. Oh, I've had this issue before, haven't I? I've had this issue before. This flippin' junction right here. It's this flippin' junction. Okay, look, video game. I'm not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood for faffing around. I'm not in the mood for faffing around, and it turns out this is just a disaster. This area is just a pure, unbridled disaster. Right, so disconnect this. In fact, no, don't disconnect that nonsense. What did I do last time? I set up a little bit of crossover over here, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Right, so we get a little bit of crossover over here. 2 sharp turn. Build that. And build that. You want to... Oh, yes. Move these traffic lights here. Right. So that should just stop all traffic in this vicinity just temporarily. Don't mind me. Pardon me. Pardon me. Just coming through. Watch out. Toot toot. Honk honk. Out the way. Right. So we reinstall that over there. Reinstall this over here. Great. And then you're able to pass by through this way. And then we're able to delete this track. Nice and safely. Easy peasy. Another signal in there. Another signal in there. And it looks to be... Look at that. Perfect comparison. Looks to me that the train is roughly even in length. Now, it's not quite as high a capacity as I would like. The 3 MV853 carriages are 345 people transported, as opposed to whatever it is, 310. 310 on this thing. But, I mean, that's still, like, enough, I think, to make a pretty substantial difference. We might still need to get another train after that. Really? Maybe, actually. Maybe legitimately we need to get another train after that. I mean, that's quite something, in fact, if that is indeed the case. Oh, well. Let's also increase the number of people that can actually work at these factories. Let's increase that up to 300. Let's increase that up to 300 as well. I'm quite aware of the fact that we're not importing oil at the moment because we are, you know, trying to cut down on our imports. However, we're trying. Alright, so it looks like just by adding that 1 additional train, that seems to have mostly got the numbers under control. So yeah, you're coming back over here, and there'll be over probably about 200 people waiting for you by the time you actually get to the station. There we go. That wasn't too bad of an estimate, was it? Right, and so you'll probably get about 250, 300 maybe? Oh, brilliant. We've got a full train load. Yeah, this is very, very good. Very, very happy with that. And, you know, things are only going to get better as and when we get our prefab panels up and running. It should be super duper fast to get these prefab panels all working properly as they should. We got a whole bunch of open storages that should make this whole thing just work. Where are you going? Have we got the gravel set up as the proper gravel points? Kobe train platform small. Kobe aggregate. Yeah. Yep. Okay, that's cool. That's very, very cool. So it's just the concrete that we need to get from... It's just the concrete that we really need to get from Mini Constructo. And that could be produced locally. We could produce it down in Kobe, but I still don't think that that's worth doing. But hey-ho. Okay, so it looks like the Fruda is doing a fairly okay job of transporting resources around the place. The amount of chemicals that we're actually transporting, very, very negligible. Mostly because we're just not importing oil at the moment. And that is a problem. That is a big old problem. Yeah, I mean, that's having an effect on our bottom line, because if you'll recall, chemicals are used in the, in the nuclear production process. In fact, they're used very, very heavily. Very, very heavily indeed. Right. I mean, if I was to set up some power cable over here, how would this go? I'm just thinking, we've got the high voltage switch over here. We've got the power transformer over here. I mean, this power transformer can deal with a lot more current than it's currently dealing with. So I think we probably want to utilize this existing power transformer in order to create like a little bit of a grid over here. So that would be a pretty good idea. Can we get 3? We get 3 in place. There's not really any point in getting three pumping stations in place. Right, so that goes over there, and then we're going to need to get a substation down here. Brilliant. Let's see if we can try and get you connected. This might be somewhat of a pain in the backside. Yeah, distance between the poles is too far. So we're going to need to have like a little mini island set up in order to get our electricity across here. If we want to go directly, that is. Distance between the poles is too far. Really? Yeah, there's a way to say that's probably about okay, I would imagine. That is maybe taking the biscuit a little bit. Yeah, that's a little bit iffy. Right, no matter. Still, really? Well, that is very, very surprising, to be honest. Alright, and then down over here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool, and then we just get this plumbed into here, like so. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Let's just get that built. I'll build that myself. I will also build this substation myself in order to just make sure that things are up and running as soon as possible. And I will also build this by myself. And then I will bring out another cable. This one can probably just be low voltage. Might even be worth us running a high voltage cable out to Oil Island, to be honest. Like, I'm unironically thinking about that right now. It's not really an issue for now, I guess, but I mean, it will be an issue at some point. I mean, the thing is that it's going to take such a long time for Oil Island, Crudeski, if you'd like, to be constructed, that I'm really kind of not worried about the speed at which things happen over at Crudeski. But that's fine. Okay, wonderful, wonderful job on all of these pumping stations, chaps. I mean, this is looking brilliant. This is looking absolutely excellent. And in fact, straight from the get-go, as soon as we get these pumping stations and things connected up over here, we should immediately start to be able to add to the oil supply. Yeah, that'll be really, really good. That will be really, really flippin' good. I mean, these construction offices are doing a phenomenal amount of work. Absolutely phenomenal amount of work. Look at the speed at which they're building stuff. Look at the speed of that. All right, that's wonderful. Okay, so that is the oil pipeline mostly set up, mostly ready to go. If we take a gander back over to Grainsky, how are we doing in terms of number of people working at the slaughterhouse, working at the distillery, working at the clothing factory? I mean, that's good. The number of people working at the clothing factory does seem to be increasing, which is very important. We're actually auto-purchasing chemicals in here. I didn't realize that. That's bothersome, actually. That is very bothersome, because that means that, you know, as we increase our amount of fabric output, the amount of chemical expenditure goes up, which is highly problematic. Also, do we have power over here? We do have power. What the heck is going on over here, then? What the heck is happening? What the heck is happening? What the heck is video game? Who's tried to do something illegal? Have I just not got another signal on this entire stretch of track over here? Is that really what's occurring in front of my eyes right at this very moment? I mean, that is probably the most large oversight that I've made with regards to the train network thus far. I will say, I think we're doing okay in terms of steel production. We're low on iron now. I mean, can we ever just have a consistent supply of both coal and iron at the same time? I suppose that would kind of defeat the purpose, right? I mean, this is just a tragic mess. A mess of epic proportions that should never have been allowed to happen. I mean, just no. Just no. It should not be possible to have this. I don't understand how you were able to get through here. I genuinely do not understand how you were able to get through here. That is, by all accounts, just a miracle. An absolute miracle. I mean, turn around. Go the other way. Right, I think I can salvage this. You turn around again. Get out of here. And you just go through there. Oh boy. I mean, this might need reconfiguring. If it does, it's not good. It's not good. It's not the end of the world, though. It's not the end of the world. You know what? I'm actually going to build a flipping bridge here. This is becoming a real problem. I mean, these are tankers that we've got that also happen to be carrying very little fuel, but that's okay. It's important that we maintain that infrastructure over there. How are we doing? How are we doing over here? Big old road. I mean, not bad. It does seem to be taking a heck of a long time. We've got a whole bunch of meat refrigeration trucks, which is great. We're almost ready to roll out the meat, so to speak. Like, what are you doing? How did you not... Oh, you just didn't wait until unloaded because you've already got whatever it is, as much iron as you possibly can get. Alright, well, that is what it is. There we go. Okay, so you're saying open up here. This is indeed open. Great. Good stuff. Yeah, okay. I have no idea how that train was able to get in here. Because now it's working absolutely as it should. Yep, so there's a train on this track right here, and therefore there's a red signal showing there. Weird. Kind of feel like that might be a little bug there, but it also just as well might be my fault. But there you go. Okay, yeah, so this area is looking pretty darn good. How are we doing on the tunnel? It's your daily tunnel check. We're at 83%. 83 flipping percent. How wonderful is that? Okay, before I forget, like a dingus, I'm going to go right over yonder, and I'm going to delete part of this highway. And instead, we're going to see if we can try and get a lovely, wonderful, brand new prefabricated bridge to stretch the length of this nonsense over here. Can't build you to infrastructure below. I think that should be fine, though, right? We're at the right height. There we go. And that's still too steep a descent. It's too steep a descent, I think, because we're on a hill at the moment, but that's fine. Okay, 161,000 rubles. Does that really need to look as garbage as it does? Can we maybe, you know, just like try and make it look a little bit less garbage, please? Okay, I'm gonna take this back a smidge. Crossing not allowed. Ah, but you did allow that, didn't you, video game? Yes, I saw it. You can't go back on the promise you've made me now. What do you know? What? It's not a garbage bridge. Oh my, I've done it with the wrong. It's the wrong type of bridge. We built half of a concrete bridge, half of a prefab panel bridge. I mean, look, only on an Orbital Potato YouTube video, folks. Only on an Orbital Potato YouTube video would somebody be able to pull that off and say, "Wow, that's now a feature. That's now part of our iconic infrastructure." There we go. Either way, it's all set up, so it should all work just a heck of a lot better, which is absolutely wonderful. All right, and the important thing is that we've got steel being made in fairly large quantities, which is grand. Very, very happy with that. Yep, we're still making boats apparently. A little bit concerned about how many boats we're getting. Is there anything that I can make? All right, sell this boat as well. There we go. Sell it for 600,000 rubles. Let me make another boat, please. What do I want to make? We could make a meteor. I mean, that's kind of fun, I guess. We could buy another blueprint. I do want to buy the Pride at some point. The Raketa? I feel like I should make the Raketa, right? Let's try and make the Raketa. Go for it. A modded passenger transport boat. It looks the business. It looks nice. Let's go for it. Sure. Why the heck not? Right. Mostly happy with how this area is working. We've got 660 tons of steel on board. That's fine. I mean, that's good. As long as we've got the good stuff on board to deliver to Kobe, then that's not too much of a problem. Looks like passenger transports to the nuclear reactor have resumed. That's great. We've got 8 tons of nuclear fuel actually waiting on the site, even though we're probably very, very low on chemicals in a bunch of these places. We're not actually super low on chemicals in a bunch of these places. Why is that the case? We are out of it. We are out of chemicals, though, so I guess our backlog of chemicals has probably been depleted, and we probably don't have any. Yeah, we don't have any on this journey here. We're filled up on plastic, and wow, we actually straight up have not run out of chemicals yet, which is kind of a little bit surprising, but there we go. I think we're also probably overflowing with regards to electronics, which is somewhat of a issue. Now, there is something to be said for moving electronics around the map in a similar sort of fashion to the way that we're moving food around the map. That's not something for this episode. That is definitely a big job. Oh, also, we haven't seen an update on this bridge in a good long time. It's not particularly exciting. I mean, how much would it cost to build? Wow, 900,000 rubles. I promise you, by the time that we're actually finished that bridge, the series is probably going to be finished. The series is almost certainly going to be finished. Right, so where does that leave us with regards to oil? Not far off. Do I just want to build this? I kind of just want to build this. Let's get this stuff built. Let's just get this stuff built. You know, I was quite happy to wait around. In fact, the vast majority of the resources are actually already on site, so each of these buildings is going to cost, like, what, 10 grand to construct? I think immediately we should be able to start pumping oil. Yeah, look, there we go. Immediately able to start pumping oil. So that is gonna give us a huge boost down in Refinovsky. We're still missing oil. However, it should come through in just a second. I'll tell you what I also want to do. I also want to actually utilize the large oil storage. So let me see if I can quickly see if we can try and do this. Yeah, so, in fact, a connection right over there would be perfect. Build that. And then delete this here. Yep. And so, all of our oil is going to be stored. No output connection? Excuse me? There is definitely an output connection. There we go. I replace it. Alright, apparently that didn't work, but that's okay. So, that's looking good. Now, I just want to quickly check to make sure that all of our oil is actually being transported. So, we should have no oil. Yep, we've got no oil in this large oil well. No oil in this large oil well. All of the oil pump jacks should be working. Yep, they are all working completely as they should. There's no power supply issues. It looks to be totally fine, and it looks like the electric substation is able to manage with the amount of electricity that's coming through it. Okay, so that's cool. Let's head back down to the big storage. I mean, I cannot describe to you folks how many problems this is going to solve. I mean, obviously I created half of these problems for myself when I decided to stop importing oil. However, in saying that, I still stand by that. That was the right decision, without a shadow of a doubt. There we go, and down there. Okay, so we build that. How much oil do we have chilling around here? Not enough, unfortunately, but, you know, we're getting there. We are just importing it so darn... Or we're not importing it, we're processing it so darn quickly that there's just too much demand on too little oil. But at the end of the day, I'm absolutely okay with that if that's going to net us more money. Right, this area is looking fantastic. Look at this. So 3 brand new prefabricated flats, almost all completed, just like so. I'm going to quickly throw in some brand new roads. There we go. Just get them built. And we'll also throw in some gravelized paths as well. Gravelized, you will note, is a legitimate term. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. Alright, so the prefabricated flats should be able to access the station, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, totally able to. Yeah, it's only about 236 meters to the station right around here. So that's great. I mean, that's going to be filled pretty much instantly. Are we able to supply all of the electricity requirements? It looks to be the case. I mean, I'm very, very happy with that. This area is pretty darn inefficient. I think that we're going to have to redo this area at some point. However, we don't need to necessarily worry about that right now. Good. Good, 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 good. The fact that, you know, we've got oil coming in and being stored in the refinery is actually a good thing to see. I'm very, very happy with it. Okay, something that I did not consider is that we have yet to connect up... I didn't even consider this. We have yet to connect up these pumping stations. Now that is a bit of a bummer because I think we're going to need to connect them up this way. Unless I want to see them built. Unless I want to build them by hand. But even if I was to build them by hand, we'd still need to make sure that they have the appropriate fire protection. So what I think I'm going to do is just literally create the thinnest possible route right across this area over here in order to access the stations. There we go. Get that widened up. Yeah, I should have foreseen that, but that's okay. That's fine. There we go. Move this across here. Wonderful. Okay, so assuming that everything works perfectly, which it should, we'll have no issues. Wonderful. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. This might be a little problem. We might have a little problem with the terrain modification in this area over here. However, I'm going to try a little trick, which is to just rise the land up. And yep, look at that. It rises the land that you can't actually directly touch. Top tip for you there, folks. And then we can just go about flattening all of this. Don't even necessarily need to flatten that nonsense in the ocean. And hopefully, it'll give us round about the flatness that we're after. It's so good. It's so good. It works so perfectly. Look at that. I mean, that was just about flawless execution. That's just about as good as it gets from me. That is just about as good as it gets from me, folks. Now, this pipe over here is going to be demolished because it's pretty important that I have a road connection over there. This should probably be better than a gravel road, probably better than a dirt road, probably about a gravel road, so that our fire trucks can drive fairly darn quickly across here. In saying that, however, do I really care? Not really. That's an issue for another day. We do need to get a fire station somewhere over here. I just have absolutely no idea how we're going to connect up a fire station here. I mean, it is possible because there are workers that are able to get to this area. So I guess if we just zone a fire station like over here somewhere, then that'll probably be workable. Sure. Let's zone a fire station. Again, no particular rush to get this done. He says, very confident in the fact that there's not going to be a fire for at least a little while. That's maybe somewhat of an optimistic position. If I just have a quick little look at the... If I have a quick little look at the range of these things, will they be able to build... Yeah, they're totally able to build all of the different pipe pumping stations, apart from, like, a couple out here. But that's fine for the most part. We can just auto-assign the last couple of remaining outlier connections over there. We're definitely within range of... We're definitely within range of all of the resources. Yeah, so that's really, really good. The only question that I have outstanding is, how are we doing on steel? Yeah, that's how we're doing on steel. That is in part, by the way, that is in part why I felt like it was so important to build the bridge over, well, near Bridgegrad, right over here. Because we were just having so many resources that were just being, you know, held up at this specific point, and that was becoming a real problem. Oh, a brand new personal car. We'll talk about personal cars another time, but in fact, I think I've already addressed it. However, they're pretty garbage. They're pretty garbage at the moment. I can explain why in another episode. But yeah, we will get personal cars at some point, but just not at this point at the moment. We're making a good amount of money. I don't know what that's from, really. We're selling steel, prefab panels. Did the Volgobalt go to the... I think the Volgobalt arrived at the border. Don't know which border, don't know where. But arrived at some border somewhere. Alright, well, I mean, that's fine. Whatever suits, to be honest, video game. Right, so, I mean, look at this. We're getting loads and loads of oil. We're getting loads and loads of oil because these oil pump jacks are, I mean, huge. They're absolutely immense. And they produce way more oil than just the basic pumping jacks, which is just really, really nice. I'm very happy about it. However, the real oil is going to come through once Oil Island comes online. Yeah, it's going to make all the difference in the world. 100% occupation rate of the brand new flat. That's wonderful. May not look like this is making a huge difference, by the way, the extra oil. However, in saying that, look at that. The huge chemical plant is operating with full import zone, and so we're able to return pretty much to 100% chemical production, which is very, very important. Very, very, very important indeed. Something that I'm very, very happy about. Yeah, it took us a while to get there, but we eventually did. Man, I tell you what, I actually accomplished a heck of a lot more than I was anticipating over the course of this episode. We have now got a full-fledged pipeline. The only issue that I can foresee is the length of time that it's going to take to be built because of the lack of coal. Yeah. We need more coal. We need more coal. 5 road vehicles. Is this the coal? Yeah, sorry, not coal. What am I talking about? Steel. This is the steel route. Now, this line represents the entirety of our steel movement capacity at this moment in time between Mount Kosmolensk open storage, Kosmolensk, whatever. It's the open storage right over here. You know, the big open storage right over there. It represents the vast majority of our steel transportation capacity at the moment. I feel like maybe if we were to add a couple more trucks onto here, it would not be the worst thing in the world. I.e. adding some Maz trucks. That would be nice. Please don't tell me this is in a brand new area. Oh, it's actually shockingly close. Fire truck was called and is headed to the fire. I mean, you say that, video game. You're coming from that direction, so we're going to need to import people here. Right, just import migrants. It's okay. That's fine. And hopefully, when the fire truck actually arrives, we should immediately be able to put it out. Yeah, it seems like this pumping station is frequently... Or these pumping stations over here, frequently on fire. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how. Crude oil is, like, laughably non-flammable. I don't get it. I mean, I'd just love to bury this pipe underground, to be brutally honest, and then just forget about it. But that is prohibited, apparently. That is prohibited, apparently. Oh, goodness gracious me. What an episode. What an episode. Look at this. Look at how professional this area actually looks. Look at how quickly we're building stuff. Man, oh man, that's wonderful. I tell you what, I've said it before, I'll say it again. These two huge construction offices right here have been doing a power of work recently. Like, the amount of effort that they have put into the building of pretty much the entirety of Oil Island, actually, is just incredible. It's just incredible. The amount of resources that they've delivered, it's huge, and it's immense. It really, really is. Holy cow, what a great couple of episodes we've had recently. I really do feel like things are moving so unbelievably quickly now. We're like optimizing and tweaking like you know, a couple of like really already pretty darned efficient processes. I mean, the steel mill I think is an example of that. You know, the fact that we're considering, like legitimately considering getting a second steel mill is hugely cool. The fact that we're able to, you know, produce like 99% of the time at 100% efficiency, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration. Yeah, we're able to produce at high efficiency levels for a lot of time. You know, we're slowly but surely cutting back on the amount of food that we're importing as well. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I mean, last year in comparison to this year it's just night and day, to be honest. It really is. But there you go. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching this episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Thanks as ever to C Senpai and Banana Nana for being two $25 plus Patreons over at patreon.com/Orbital Potato. Yeah, thank you as ever to all of the other Orbital Inc. Patreon supporters listed on screen right now. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.